Level 1, the halcón, the eyes and ears of the streets. You're 16 years old, standing on a corner in Sinaloa, watching. That's your entire job. Watch. You spot a military convoy 3 blocks away. You send a text message. Convoy moving south on Hidalgo. 5 vehicles, armed. The message goes to someone you've never met. 2 minutes later, your phone buzzes. Payment received. $50. You've been doing this for 6 weeks now. Before this, you were stocking shelves at a grocery store for $8 a day. Your mother doesn't ask where the money comes from. She knows. Everyone knows. In your neighborhood, 1 in 5 kids works for the cartels in some capacity. The employment statistics are staggering. Mexican cartels collectively employ around 175,000 people, making them the 5th largest employer in the entire country. They recruit more than 350 people every single week. You didn't apply for this job. A cousin mentioned you needed work. Someone approached you at a bus stop. They asked if you wanted to make real money. You said yes, before they finished the question. The training took 15 minutes. Here's a phone. Here's a corner. Report anything unusual. Police movement, military patrols, rival cartel members, unfamiliar vehicles. You get paid per report. Some weeks you make $200. Some weeks you make $600. It's more than your father makes working construction. The risks? You don't think about the risks. 37% of cartel members end up dead or incarcerated. But you're not really a cartel member. You're just a kid with a phone, right? Wrong. You're part of a structure. A machine with clearly defined hierarchies and vertical authority chains that would impress most corporate executives. Each person has one task, one specialization. You watch corners. Someone else watches the highway. Someone else watches the police station. Someone else watches the airport. The system protects itself through redundancy and compartmentalization. If you get arrested, you can't reveal much because you don't know much. You've never met anyone above your immediate contact. You don't know their real names. You don't know where the drugs are stored or how they move. You know your corner and your phone. 6 months pass. You've proven reliable. Consistent reports, no missed shifts, no stupid mistakes. Your handler sends a different message, new opportunity, more money. Interested? You respond within seconds. Yes. They promote you to sicario, the armed enforcer level. This is where everything changes. Level 2, the sicario. They give you a gun before they give you detailed instructions. It's a 9mm Beretta, used but functional. Someone teaches you how to load it, clear jams and fire without closing your eyes. The training happens in a warehouse outside the city. 10 other young men are there, ages 15 to 23. Some look terrified, some look eager. You feel both. Your responsibilities expand dramatically. You're no longer passive surveillance, you're active enforcement, protection rackets, kidnappings, executions, defending territory from rivals. The cartel loses about 200 members per week across Mexico. Most of those losses happen at your level. Sicarios are expendable ammunition in an endless war. But the pay is different now, $1,500 a week, sometimes more depending on assignments. You're making more in a month than your father makes in a year. Your first assignment is collections. A restaurant owner is 3 weeks behind on protection payments. You go with 2 other sicarios. One of them has been doing this for 2 years. He does the talking. You just stand there holding your gun, trying to look dangerous. The restaurant owner pays immediately, hands shaking, apologies spilling out. You leave with 8,000 pesos in cash. Your cut is 800. You tell yourself this isn't so bad. Nobody got hurt. The man just paid what he owed. The second assignment is different. A rival cartel's halcón was spotted operating in your territory. Your instructions are clear. Find him. Make an example. You don't ask questions. Questions get you killed faster than mistakes. You find the kid at a taco stand. He's 17, maybe younger. He runs when he sees you. You chase him into an alley. Your partner catches him first. What happens next takes 40 seconds. You don't pull the trigger, but you're there. You watch. You don't stop it. That night you can't sleep. By the third night you sleep fine. That's when you realize you're not the same person who stood on that corner sending text messages 8 months ago. Marciano Milan Vasquez started exactly where you are now, a sicario for Los Zetas, carrying out assassinations and moving product through trafficking corridors. He did this for years, proving himself reliable, violent when necessary, and capable of managing increasingly complex operations. In 2013, he took control of the Piedras Negra Plaza, overseeing the importation of more than 100,000 kilograms of marijuana and tens of thousands of kilograms of cocaine into the United States. His progression from street-level enforcer to regional commander followed a pattern that exists across every major cartel. Competence gets rewarded, violence gets rewarded, loyalty gets rewarded. Everything else gets you buried in the desert. You spend 3 years as a sicario. You lose count of the assignments. Some blur together. Collections, intimidations, beatings. Others stay sharp in your memory no matter how much you drink. The executions, the interrogations, the times when things went wrong and bullets started flying from directions you didn't expect. You've been shot twice, once in the leg, once in the shoulder. Both times you were back to work within a month. You've watched friends die. You've watched enemies die. You've watched innocent people die because they were standing too close to someone who mattered. The attrition rate is real. Every week, someone from your crew disappears. Arrested, killed by rivals, killed by military, killed by your own organization for screwing up. The cartel recruits 19,000 new members per year just to replace the losses. But you're still here, you're still alive, you're still useful, your handlers notice. You've moved from simple muscle to someone they trust with logistics. You coordinate assignments for younger sicarios. You manage collections from an entire neighborhood. You interface with corrupt police officers who feed information about raids and investigations. You're becoming valuable. Then one day your phone rings with an offer that will change everything. They want you to run a plaza. Level 4, the plaza boss. A plaza is a trafficking corridor, a territory, a piece of ground worth millions. Whoever controls the plaza controls the flow of drugs, weapons, money, and people through that region. Your plaza is a mid-sized city near the border. Population 80,000. 3 major highways intersect here, perfect for moving product north. You oversee 32 halcóns, 15 sicarios, and a network of corrupt officials that includes 5 police commanders, 2 judges, and the deputy mayor. Your monthly operating costs run about 1,400,000 pesos. Payroll for your crew, bribes for officials, weapons, vehicles, safe houses. Your revenue is 6 times that amount. You send most of it up the chain, but what's left makes you wealthier than you ever am. A giant possible. You live in a compound with armed guards. You drive armored vehicles. You wear expensive watches and custom suits. People fear you. Officials defer to you. You have more power in this city than the mayor. But the target on your back just got exponentially larger. Rival cartels want your plaza. They'll send assassins. They'll bribe your men to betray you. They'll coordinate with military units to take you out. Your own organization is watching too. Screw up the revenue flow and you're done. Show weakness and you're done. Lose territory to rivals and you're done. Hector Infante, known as El Tolin, ran plazas in Mexicali and Rosarito for years, fighting constant battles with rival Sinaloa factions for control of trafficking routes into California. That's your life now. Constant warfare on multiple fronts. You make decisions about life and death every single day. A sicario stole from a shipment, dead. A halcón got caught by police and might talk, dead. A rival cartel's people were spotted in your territory, all dead. You authorized the murder of a journalist who was writing stories about cartel operations in your region. You ordered the kidnapping of a businessman who refused to pay protection money. His family paid the ransom. You killed him anyway as a message. You've stopped counting bodies. The person you were 4 years ago wouldn't recognize what you've become. But that person would be dead by now. You've survived because you're ruthless, strategic, and paranoid in exactly the right measure. Then the call comes. The regional boss wants to meet. Level 5, the lieutenant. Lieutenants sit one step below the cartel leadership. They supervise multiple plaza bosses across entire states or regions. They coordinate with suppliers in Colombia and Peru. They negotiate with distributors in the United States. They plan high-level strategy, decide which territories to fight for, which officials to corrupt, which rivals to eliminate. You're being promoted. Your new territory covers 4 cities and the rural areas between them. You manage 8 plaza bosses who report to you. Each one runs operations similar to what you just left behind. Your job is to ensure they're all performing, all staying loyal, all maintaining control of their territories. You attend meetings with the cartel's top leadership now. These are the men whose names appear in international indictments, whose faces are on wanted posters offering millions in rewards. They discuss expansion into new markets. They discuss the fentanyl trade that's generating unprecedented profits. They discuss problems with Colombian suppliers and solutions involving violence. You're allowed to carry out low-profile murders without asking permission. Anything that might draw attention requires approval. You're trusted with operational decisions that affect the entire organization. The money is almost incomprehensible now. You oversee trafficking operations moving tons of cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl every month. The profit margins on fentanyl are insane. It costs almost nothing to produce and sells for astronomical prices. One of your plazas generated 8,781,000 pesos in a single month last year from drug sales and gambling operations alone. You take meetings with government officials at the state level. You negotiate truces with rival cartels when war becomes too expensive. You order mass killings when truces break down. OCL Cardenas Guillen made this same climb. Started as a mechanic, joined the Gulf Cartel, became its leader in 1997 by killing his predecessor. Then he recruited over 30 deserters from Mexico's special forces to form Los Zetas, the most violent enforcer wing any cartel had ever created. Those deserters were lured with salaries far higher than military pay, just like you were lured with money far beyond what legitimate work offered. Once Guillen consolidated power, he expanded operations into kidnapping, extortion, and securing trafficking routes through extreme violence. That's the blueprint you're following. That's the path that leads to the top. But there's a problem with reaching the top. Level 6, the target, the higher you climb, the more people want you dead. Foreign governments, rival cartels, ambitious subordinates, your own paranoia eating away at your ability to trust anyone. El Mayo Zambada co-founded the Sinaloa cartel and ran it for decades, flooding the United States with cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl, generating billions in profits. His operation was so sophisticated, so deeply embedded in both legitimate and criminal enterprises, that he seemed untouchable. He was arrested in July 2024. After his arrest, Ovidio Guzman Lopez and his brothers, the Chapitos, took over their father's role. Family succession, the only form of trust that sometimes holds in this world. El Mencho took a different path, grew up poor, migrated to the United States, got arrested 3 times, served time in California, got deported, joined local police back in Mexico, connected with his brother-in-law in the drug trade, rose through the Milenio cartel, then created his own organization when that cartel's leadership was eliminated. The Jalisco New Generation Cartel became one of the most powerful and violent organizations in Mexico. When Mexican special forces killed him, the country exploded. His organization launched attacks across 20 states, burning vehicles and buildings, killing at least 70 people, including 25 National Guard members. With all his potential successors imprisoned, his lieutenants will likely turn on each other, fragmenting the organization into warring factions that will produce even more bloodshed. That's the end game. Arrest, death, or betrayal. Sometimes all 3. You're watching this happen in real time across the cartel landscape. Leaders falling, organizations splintering, violence escalating beyond anything previously imagined. And you're right in the middle of it, climbing toward a position that has no retirement plan except a bullet or a cell. Somewhere right now, a kid is standing on a street corner with a phone, sending messages about police movements for 300 pesos a week. He's dreaming about the money, the power, the respect. He has no idea that the ladder he's about to climb leads nowhere but down. Neither did you. But now you know. The question is whether you'll survive long enough for it to matter. The cycle never stops. For every cartel boss arrested or killed, 10 plaza bosses are positioning themselves to take over. For every plaza boss eliminated, 100 sicarios are proving themselves worthy of promotion. For every sicario who dies, 1,000 halcons are waiting on corners with phones in their hands, watching, reporting, dreaming of climbing higher. The ladder exists because poverty exists, because opportunities don't, because $50 a day beats $8 a day every single time when you're trying to feed your family. The cartel structure isn't designed for success stories. It's designed to produce bodies while protecting the few at the top who know the game is rigged from the start.